Streaming cyberspace into your place, sanctioned by the Bootleg Racing League from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. It's doubleheader Saturday night on the Virtual Grip Network. First up, 7th round coverage of the Outlaw SK Modified Invitational Series. It's season 37. It took him just 13 races to pick up his first Outlaw Modified win, and now 2 races later, with just this and 4 more to go on the schedule, Alan Wanamaker has positioned himself to earn a championship in this, his first full-time assault on the crown. Behind the wheel of what has come to be known as the 9-ball, Alan has wrenched his way back to the top of the points and has been one of the top stories this season. But 6 other drivers are within a dozen points of Wanamaker, with no one closer than Kurt Smith, making his 200th Outlaw Modified start tonight. What better way to set that milestone than in the clasp of a Nashville Smith win? Donnie Moore and Jeffrey Harden are tied for 4th and are the only drivers in the championship conversation with career wins here at Nashville. Wanamaker and Liston are the only drivers in the top 7 with season wins. Can either of them pick up a second? To find out, pull the lever on the Lazy Boy and settle in for some simulated short track racing action about to stream your way. From the home state of Davy Crockett, a warm Tennessean hello and welcome on this Saturday night, November 9th, 2024. It's Zach Shaggy Chapman joining yours truly, Bill Soups on. Take a breath. Hype in the VGN broadcast booth to bring you our Words Eye View. Replay Ryan Seneker, turn of the knobs, and sliding the sliders. All right, Shaggy, this is a fun place to go racing. What are your thoughts about tonight's venue?
Well, dude, I'm really excited. Got a lot of guys in here that we haven't seen, many races. It's starting to get cold out there, Soup. The racetracks are shutting down. We're getting a lot more people. And right now I'm riding on board with one of those guys, Scott Negus. Here, he's coming out of turn 4. And you'll see here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, when you go on the straightaways, not very much banking, 3 degrees. And you dip yourself off here into the corners and you find yourself at 18. So definitely you get some grip out there, but in the street stock race earlier, a little inside information, saw the bottom work, obviously, very early on, but as the tires started to age, that high line, that middle groove came into play, and if you held that guy down coming off the corner, it was really tough to make that pass. So we may see a couple moves here on the high side after we get past the halfway point tonight, Soup.
Very large field here tonight, as we have 22 that are going to grid up. We're going 100 laps. It's the same rules as always. No fast repairs. If you break it, you bought it, and you got to finish on the same tires you start with. Let's take a quick look at the points. With Mike Holloway making his season debut at Martinsville, the number of drivers to have raced at least once this season climbs to 23, with 11 having raced in each of the previous 6 events. That 23 is going to go a lot higher tonight because we have 2 big names here with us. Scott Negus and Aiden Young are both racing. Both those guys can win this thing. Along with the win of Oswego, Alan Wanamaker has only missed the top 10 once this season. A Martinsville 5th returns that man back into the points lead after Donnie Moore bumped him into 2nd place after round 5, making his 200th career start. Well, that's going to be Kurt Smith, 12th this season in the opener for Kurt Smith, the only double-digit finish for him. Todd Liston led 42 laps on the way to a Martinsville 3rd. Liston moves up 2 spots. He was the points leader going into Martinsville. Disastrous 16th. Dropped old-time Donnie Moore down into 4th. And he shares that with Jeffrey Harden, who won at Martinsville. The boss man, Lowell Jewell, and Double Deuce Bruce Pearson at 11 and 12 out, respectively, are probably the last 2 drivers with realistic shots at the crown. Pearson leads all drivers in collected incident points. John Hine won the first 2 races this season. A 13th at Southern National is the only time Chris Haislip has missed the top 10. A fan, the fan attention for both the Hilbert brothers, thanks to their appearance on VGN Weekly, well, that's kind of thrown them off their pace this season. The only driver of the 2 to be in the top 10 in either of the broadcast series is little brother Tom. And he sits there in 10th right now. Hopefully the Chief can get in there as well. Okay, that takes care of all the business. Now let's get to the business at hand and telling you who this is going to be racing here tonight and how they grid up. Remember, qualifying is nothing in the Bootleg Racing League. The grid is set by inverting the top 15 from the previous race, and if we do that, we're going to put Steven Spies in the preferred position on pole. Is going to be inside of the defending champion, the Canadian Goose John. No, but correct myself. He is not the defending champion. He's the defending champion in the late model event. We're talking about the Canadian Goose John Wilson in the 75.
Inside of row number 2 in the 25, Tom Hilbert into his outside in the double deuce, Bruce Pearson.
5 and 6, they go to Chris Haslick and the Kingpin, Joe Segala.
Inside of row number 3, what am I doing here, Sue? Brain lapse. Inside of row number 4, the boss man, Lowell Jewell, into his outside in the 70.
Trying to pick up his third win of the season will be John Hine, and your points leader, Alan Wallamaker, will be starting in 10th.
Row number 6 to the inside in the 36, Jeffrey Harden, into his outside in the 87, Todd Liston.
Kurt Smith and Ricky Harden go 13th, 14th.
Donnie Moore to the inside of row 8, into his outside, Steve Hilbert.
Jason Menda will be starting in the 17th position inside of Ad O'Shea.
The young gun at Aiden Young to the inside of row 10, into his outside, Scott Negus.
In the blackjack spot is Daryl Weinecker. Welcome back with the caveman, Trey Bloom, in the double deuce position. All right, we got ourselves a big field here tonight, 22 drivers. Let's hope we keep it clean. It's going to be hard for some of those guys in the back to work their way through the field. They got 100 laps to get it done. This is round number 7. This one and 4 more to go before we crown a champion. Chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler. Heidi, the double nickel was ready to go. Steven Spies putting a great jump out in front. John Wilson is going to tuck into second. In the red, white, and blue machine, that's Tom Hilbert, and we got ourselves, no, we're still green. I thought we had a yellow. Now ducking underneath, that's Bruce Pearson in the double deuce, going underneath with the 93 of Chris Haslick, rounded out 5th place. Haslick on the move.
Yeah, Haslick is on the move, but a guy struggling to get to the bottom right now, back in the field, the 9-ball, your point leader, Alan Wanamaker, stuck on the outside and doing his best here to fight with Kurt Smith. But there's a traffic jam. Wow, he missed it.
Segala gets put up into the wall. Everybody went to the inside of him. The 81 is dropping like a pigeon right now as he falls all the way down into what would be 19th position when it's said and done. From the front to the back goes the Kingpin. Meanwhile, it's all going on behind Steven Spies, who races in front all by himself.
Yeah, and you got to think with that excellent restart, that's exactly what he wanted to. He just gets to put his head down, run easy laps, and save that stuff for when it really matters.
I want to throw your attention to car number 29 is currently in 15th position. It is Scott Negus. He can drive, and right now he's working on old time Donnie Moore. He gets to the inside. Negus not scared to burn up some tire early to get up to the front. Great battle going on. The 29 on the inside, Moore with the momentum on the outside.
Yeah, you know the deal. If you don't show up the week before, you can't start inside the top 15. And a driver like Negus, not that he needs any help, I mean, this maybe evens it out for the rest of the field here.
We're going to take you away from this one. Trouble is a brewing for the 9-ball. Oh, my goodness. That was Todd Liston who almost got up into him there. He falls back a little bit. Wanamaker, your points leader, racing in 11th position. Now look at Liston on the outside. Working on the outside of the Floridian fireman. That is Jason Menda. Mason in the dark car is going to get that spot.
Yeah, it looked like it, but man, Liston, he's not going to go away. I thought he'd kind of give that up and fall in line, but sticking to the outside here, being that nagging little brother.
They're pretty much all single file up there. There's a couple of drivers I'm watching that look a little bit pesky right now. Let's look at Liston. He dives underneath Menda now. He's going to try the low side. This is right in front of the two cars we were talking about before, Moore and Negus, who race right behind him. Moore gets a little bit loose. Look at Menda work the top side. I don't know if the bottom is really the place to be.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of what I talked about there. We were surprised in the street stocks to see that middle line, you know, really work. But if you can hold that guy down and you trust him and he's not going to get up there and get his elbows out, that may be the preferred line, especially in the closing laps.
Trying to hold a guy down is Tom Hilbert, but he goes way too high.
Oh, the point leader, Alan Wanamaker, involved. We got a big wreck off of four-suit.
Smith got into it right in front of Wanamaker. Wanamaker scoots through, and then it's an octopus falling out of a tree. Everything going everywhere. You can't tell who is in it. Donnie Moore collected in it. I'll give you some names. The 52 is Steve Hilbert involved in it. Donnie Moore, of course, we mentioned before. Darren Weinecker involved in that one. Joe Segala parked it before he got there.
And you see there on the replay, the 36 Harden, he checks up a little bit. Kurt checks up, and, well, Ruben can't check up in time, can't see through that car, gets into the back of Kurt. Man, oh man. But Alan Wanamaker, he went hard into the wall, even rode the wall for a little bit. Hopefully the points leader's car is all right. That's a tough break.
What we're going to do is break policy here and dial up our points leader, number 9. He's still out there. We'll see how he's feeling. This is important. We're going to dial up Alan Wanamaker here. He's sitting in racing in what would be the 10th position. It's Soup. Alan, you have a copy.
Hey, Soup. Yeah, I got you, man.
Okay, we watched it. You got in it. You drove through it. How's the car feeling? Do you know?
I think it's pretty damaged. It's not feeling great, but we're gonna give it a go. See what happens.
Walk me through real quick. What will you do going into the first corner? You're gonna be starting on the outside. You just gonna hope it sticks, or what do? You take it in there 90%?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be a little cautious. I mean, we're still fairly early, and I don't think I have a winning car now, so I'm gonna try to get what I can and move on.
Get what you can and move on is how championships are won. Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Your points leader, Alan Wanamaker, back there in 10th. Shaggy, I think he's thinking big picture. You race a little different when you sit atop the points.
Yeah, and definitely, but I would have maybe even thought a little bigger picture here if I'm him. If you got that damage, go in and repair it. Make sure you don't go a lap down, but just keep doing that on the cautions and then try to pry your way back up into 15th. We know how important that is for next week.
We'll keep an eye on that. A driver I want you to watch is the 45 of Jason Menda. He is up 6 spots, one of our hard chargers. In fact, he is the hardest charger, and he'll be starting in what I would think was the preferred position, but I'm not so sure anymore. Also, watch out for the number 25 of Tom Hilbert in that red, white, and blue machine out there. It's a little bit off the pace. Okay, another great start from Steven Spies. Now the battle is going to be for second. Bruce Pearson looks like he could get inside of the Canadian Goose John Wilson, but he decides not to do it. Now rolling the top side. We think the top might be good, and it is the Lipper who's making it work. Chris Hazlip in the 93 rolls around the top side of Bruce Pearson and gets right up on the back of John Wilson. The 93 is good. Now here comes John Hine. It's going to be 3 wide. This never works. The Lipper says, I don't want any part of this. And he backs out of it. Almost backs himself up into Lowell Jewell. Lowell Jewell gets worked out. Ruben Altiz really had to check up to get out of it. And now rolling around the top is Jason Menda. Sweet sassy Molassie. That was a close one.
Yeah, you get rid of that number 7 on that John Hine machine, and he looked a lot like Max Verstappen out there. You just use your talent, scare the guy in the middle, force him to back out. That's exactly what John did. I mean, he gets 2 spots, big time move.
My goodness. Menda now, last time we talked to him, he was up 6. He's up 9 spots. The 45 is a-coming. Let's look at him right now. Who's he got in front of him? Well, it is the quiet man, Ruben Altiz. Altiz notorious for working his way quietly through the field. He started in 8th position. He's up into 7th right now, but the 45 is coming. He's also trying to stay with him is Tom Hilbert. Hilbert started in 3rd, has fallen back to 9th, doing the best he can to stay up there. Let's look at Liston. Liston going to the inside now at Donnie Moore. Liston, he's your defending Ken Braney champion, 2-time champion right now. He gets to the inside, and he's been gone a long time. He's bringing the 29 to Scott Negus with him.
Yeah, and this is one of those pressure races, Soup, with having a lot of guys. One mistake. Normally in a normal race here, you make a mistake, you can still fight for 15. You make a mistake this early, oh man, you're dooming this week and next week. So you gotta race smart here early on.
That battle sorts out. I'm going to drop you back a few spots to car number 69. We haven't seen much of him. He has real-world racing commitments. I think the tracks have closed down now for the winter. We're talking about Aiden Young Gun Young out there as he's working. He's looking now, getting really high as the number 3 of Ricky Harden. And now Aiden Young tries to get underneath. Harden now looking to get on Moore. He gives Moore a little bit of a hello! And the 26 moves up the racetrack. That might not be the slowest way around. 26 gets momentum. And let's see if Young's going to follow Moore around. I think Harden might be trapped on the inside in the number 3.
Yeah, it's going to get hairy here with the lap car Wanamaker coming in here out of 4. Aiden's got to make a smart decision, and he does. Lifts off. Just going to fall in line behind the 3.
That's your point leader, Alan Wanamaker, who did actually bring it down into pit lane, and he's fallen all the way back now into 21st position. Oh, my goodness. Sometimes it hurts as we look at that battle on track. That's a good one. Sometimes it hurts to have a bad race, but you never want to have a bad race when you have a full field of 22, because it makes the bad all the more bad.
That double deuce of Bruce Pearson, he's starting to creep up on the Canadian Goose here. I think we're going to have a battle for second in the coming laps.
We jump off of that, we leave the battle, which I think is a yellow flag, a blue one back there with Young and Moore, but they get that sorted out. Ricky Harden, notorious for going up. Let's look at Negas now. He's going to go to the outside of Liston. That doesn't work. He loses momentum, but he gets a good run. Now he's got a cars 2x2 up there. That is on the outside is Tom Hilbert. Hilbert started in 9th. He continues to drop. Now Negas says the outside didn't work. I will go underneath. You got to pick which checker you think is going to be fastest in the supermarket checkout lane. He says the inside line will work, and indeed it is going to work, as Hilbert's going to fall one more spot back. As soon as I can make this official, Tom's going to prove me wrong here as he tries to follow Liston through. Let's stay on this a bit. And there you see it working out.
Yeah, really, before I raced here tonight, Soup, I would have never thought that middle line would be as dominant as it is, but the way you can just control corner exit, those guys just use it to manipulate the guy under.
We continue to watch the Negas battling there with that is Hilbert on the outside. Hilbert in that red, white, and blue machine. If you're old enough to remember Donnie Allison and the AMC special, the Matador used to race way back in the 70s, looks a lot like that.
Look at there too. Ricky just there to pounce. He's already there to capitalize.
They get that. No, look at it. Still now moving to the inside. That is Ricky Harden going to the inside in the purple number 3.
Yeah, and Hilbert, he's wondering when it's going to end, because here comes Aiden Young too. So this is a long train.
The outside line is effective, but right now having trouble getting it to work is Hilbert. We're going to continue on that battle. Great racing going on here at Nashville. Finally, they get that sorted out. We drop back a little bit there. Now we're looking at, I believe that in the yellow car. Is that Shane? That is Adam Shane racing that one. Yeah. Making a run. Such a large field, Shaggy, and we've been clean for most of it. Just one yellow so far. There's Bruce Pearson now making a move, trying to see if he can work his way up.
Yeah, he's almost got to now, because John Hines caught up to him, and well, there's the lipper. We saw how good Chris Hayslip is, and he's willing to sling it up on that high side. So if he comes up to a line of traffic, that 93 could make this real interesting if he chooses to go to that high side.
Looking off the tail feathers of the Canadian Goose right now. John Wilson. Ducking to the inside is Bruce Pearson, and he can't quite get it done. This is a great camera shot. Let's stay on this a bit, because this is really entertaining. Now he looks to the inside. Boy, I wish we could pan like they do. No, is it in there? I guess we're going to have to go away. He tries to get underneath. No, he closes the door. I love this shot.
And now, well, John there, he checked up, but compromised in the middle there. He almost became meat to John. So if you're Bruce, you got to do this carefully. He's got to work his way around without giving up the spot.
All this going on behind your race leader, Steven Spieth, who's just having it his own way. Now we watch from a normal camera angle. That is the Canadian Goose, John Wilson out in front, Pearson looking in there. And now John Hine trying to find some way around. Hine not scared to make it 3 wide.
No, sir. We've seen it already once, but I'll tell you what, these guys up in front, they're no chumps here. I don't know if one of them are going to back out of this.
You look on that tower, you look down in 20th position, you see him 3 laps down. That's your point leader, Alan Wanamaker. I don't think there's any possibility that he'll go into the next round as the point leader. Now, getting underneath is Pearson.
Yeah, this is the best we've seen him, and See if John puts up a fight, or yeah, he's going to put up the fight. He could have burped the throttle and fit right in line and held up John Hine, but he's going to battle this thing. Let's see what he can do.
Side by side, the inside line, the shorter way around, the outside line.
Yellow
with momentum.
flag.
Kurt Smith involved in this one in his 200th career start, gets involved, and I think he gets a little bit squeezed by Steve Hilbert. Did the chief not know he was there?
Yeah, not too sure. I mean, you're accurate there.
And Wanamaker almost goes over. Not the way you want to have your 200th career start go. Kurt Smith, who's up in the points as well. You know, we talk about these points. Wanamaker now with trouble, Smith now with trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, that's what Donnie Moore needed. We know he was the points leader last week, but remember, accident for him, and he was running around in 16th, Soup, so that wasn't going to transfer him up through the field. And that's the trouble we talk about with this large car count. If you make a mistake, it's really magnified. So, big break for Donnie. That's what he needed.
Shaggy, I'm going to give you the honors of picking somebody you want to talk to. There's so many to choose from. Who would you like to do the interview with?
Let's bring in Daryl. I mean, how often does Daryl come around?
We're going to bring him up here in a minute.
Hey, Daryl, Shaggy up here in the booth, man. You got a copy?
10-4, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, man. Well, hey, first time back in a while, man. How's the car feeling? You're rolling up through the field up 9 spots.
Absolutely, it's great to be back, man. BRL's short track racing. It's where it's at. So I think you can tell we've put 40 laps and just two short cautions, and that's the way people race at the BRL. Love it.
Daryl, it's soup. Help me out. The outside line does not seem to be horrible. Is that your take?
It's not. Yeah, when you're coming up on somebody, if they've got about a car width up on the track, it's kind of hard to.
I think we lost him there, but that's okay. I think he was saying that maybe if you can pin him down, it might be the way to go. Daryl Weinecker having a nice run. Good to have him back. Racing in 12th spot. He'll be on the outside, though, and maybe that's what he's talking about. Maybe that'll work for him.
Yeah, I think being behind that Barney machine there, Ricky Harden in that 3, that's a good guy to follow. You know, I mean, if he can make it work, so can you. He's very good at manipulating the cars. So just got to use him as that ghost, try to follow him.
Up 10 spots is Jason Menda. Started in 17th, worked his way up into 7th. Look for some other big moves. A little bit more. We knew that Negas was going to be quick. And Scott's got the number 29 up 11 spots into 9th, starting on the inside. Although he's racing up high right now, I'm not sure if that's actually where they're going to let him start. Looking at the 29. Maybe just there he brings it down, just trying to sweep off some of the marbles that are gathered up there. Glad you were with us. We're under our second caution. We started with 22 drivers, 17 on the lead lap. Alan Wanamaker, now in 18th spot, doing what you gotta do. He's in 18th, closing in on that magic 15th spot, right, Shaggy?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to put your head down and plug away. That's exactly what he's been doing. It's not easy to do, but he's doing the hard work, and that's what wins championships.
Steven Spies has led from the very beginning. He's had no challenge on these restarts, and he has it his own way one more time, working lap number 44. He comes across the line. Now Bruce Pearson, who's almost got underneath the Canadian Goose of John Wilson last time out before the yellow came out. Now we'll hike another run at it. These guys, he's got Wilson stuck up high. Wilson with a little momentum off of 2. They go into quarter numbers 3 and 4. Pearson drifts up a little bit, then he backs off the throttle so that he doesn't get into Wilson, leaves Wilson room, and now they get that sorted out. Behind Pearson is John Hine. John Hine looking for any way around. If there's an inch, he's going to take it. The Lipper, 93, has been having a great run. Started in 5th. That's where he races right now, but he got the man on the move behind him. Jason Menda in the 45 is coming up 11 positions. Look down underneath. Here comes Negas as well. He's underneath Lowell Jewell. The 29 on the inside, Lowell Jewell on the outside. The 29 is coming. How much rubber will he have left when he gets to the front? We don't know, but it's fun to watch him try.
Yeah, that's the real question here. Is the 55's just out front playing in the sandbox all by himself. So, I mean, after battling your way up through the field, that's going to be the real test.
We heard us talk to Daryl Weinecker, and he talked about how you can pin the guy down from the outside as Liston gets on the outside as well, almost gets in the wall. Well, he was side by side. Negus and Lowell Jewell were side by side, and Jewell did just what Weinecker said, pinned down Negus down there. He could not make the pass. Let's watch this battle now between Negus. Oh, no, we're up front. There, we'll go back a little bit. Let's watch between Negus and Liston. This is a battle for what would be 8th position if they get it sorted out. Watch out for the purple number 3 as well, Ricky Harden. He started in 14th position, up a handful of spots, racing back there in 10th. Negus could not get it to work. Liston gets the best of it, and now Harden is going to try the outside. I think Negus would like to get the 29 to the top side as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys are kind of seeing that cork in the bottle up there, that 75.
Let's go to second. Yeah. All right, now here's the inside-outside again. Here comes Pearson. He tries to get underneath, but I haven't really seen the inside line work yet. That's Wilson on the outside. He's got his wings spread, and the Canadian Goose is flopping.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, man. He's got that bottle corked up. I mean, he's doing a good job. He's definitely not the fastest car, but taking away enough on exit that the guys can't roll the bottom. And guys like Ricky Harden, he's getting that pass done on the high side in the back. He's seeing that, and, I mean, they're taking advantage. They're going to use it.
John Hine gives a little bit of a bump to the double deuce of Bruce Pearson. John saying, if you guys are going to race side by side, I know one way to end that. I'm going to make it 3 wide. Hine in the 71, seeing if he can get underneath Pearson right now. Hazlip doing what he's doing, hanging on, and now here comes Jason Mender. We got a wreck.
Yeah,
it's Harden.
Liston got a little loose on the bottom, I think. Came up and floated into Harden, and boy, it exploded from there.
Well, you called it. Harden goes up in the wall. Aiden Young tries to go underneath, but he can't as he caroms off another car. Young goes around. Good job of avoidance from Adam Shane as he goes low, as does the 15 of Daryl Weinecker. Let's take a look at this one. Oh, we didn't. We had the replay was done. Tried to get a look on that maybe from a guy who was able to avoid it, but there's some issues. That's fine. So we lose a few more cars off the lead lap. 17 still on there. Weinecker now racing down there in 18th spot. Aiden Young drops back to 14th, and he's going to bring it down pit lane. Okay, let's dial up the number 29 of Scott Negus. Started in 20th. He's now up to 9th. Scott, it's Soup up in the booth. You have a copy?
I do, big guy. How are you?
You're doing what you do. We watch you work your way through the field. I can't believe you're going to have much left for the last 10 laps the way you're racing. How's it feel?
Well, I truly believe I'm burning tires off this thing. You're right.
Help me out. We know you're fast. It looked like you got pinned on the inside. It almost thinks like the outside line might be the line. What do you think?
It could be. I think Todd might have pulled a plug wire off me when I was beside him, so I'm a little bit slower on the inside or something.
All right, man. It is wonderful to see you back. Good luck. Get it up there as fast as you can, and then make them get around you.
I'm trying, buddy. Thanks, guys.
Scott Negus. Well, when you die, you can't take the rubber with you, right? So you might as well use it all up and race on the rims if you have to.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're on the bottom, you got to use up that guy's next to you too. So you don't want anybody to go home with anything.
All of this going on it's been really a great show. The man who has not seen any of it is old fire and sulfur himself, Steven Spees. He's been out there leading the whole way. He's got John Wilson to his outside. Pearson and Wilson have been at it. Pearson has not been able to get underneath the Canadian Goose or to the top of him. I don't know how much patience John Hine has left. He thinks he might be faster than all three of the guys up front, but doesn't get a chance to race. The Lipper having a great run.
Yeah, I think where Bruce really needs to change the program here, we've seen Steven. He's been nailing these restarts. I mean, Bruce, he's got to get a good jump. He's got to follow him along. John's been lagging back a little in these restarts. That's where you're going to be able to get him. I mean, when he's so slow through 1 and 2 on the opening lap, he's not going to have that advantage on the high side. You got to get him right away.
Still plenty of racing to go. Speed certainly has been, you think, conserving his rubber. He's going to use it up right now just to make sure he stays out front, looking to go wire to wire. 22 cars took the grid, 16 still on the lead lap. Ricky Harden now 2 laps down. We monitor that because your points leader, Alan Wanamaker, looking to get to that 15th spot. All right, we go green one more time. No surprise, Steven Spieth gets a good jump. Pearson trying to get underneath Wilson. That's not going to happen. Wilson drives it in hard. Look at John Hine now with the opportunity. I got you pinned down low. He says to Pearson, now he rolls the momentum. The 71 up top. We got another caution in the back. It's a big one. Oh, Lowell Jewell involved in it. Negus. Jeffrey Harden involved in it. Going around the top side is Darrell Wanamaker. Nice job from him. Oh, Ricky Harden tries to get around the top, but he can't find room as Negus finds him. What a mess.
Yeah, you know, it starts, I mean, Hazlip, he gets a really good jump. He's all over the back of the 22 going down the straightaway, and he doesn't want to get into the back of him as he enters the corner, so he hits the brakes early. Lowell's not ready for it. And, I mean, it's just a huge checkup.
As we look at it here, I'd like to take one more look from the cockpit of Ricky Harden, who thinks, I think for a minute there, he had to think, I'm going to get through this. We ride on board. Sometimes it clears for you. Here he is in the number 3. He's going. And now the line opens up on top. I will just follow that car through. No problem. Oh, no! That was Negus who backed into the wall and closed off Harden's escape route. Yeah, everything was there until it wasn't. Let's put the camera on the 9 ball of Alan Wanamaker. He's in 18th position. More trouble following dives up there. Now the last car on the lead lap is Jeffrey Harden in 15th. A little more trouble, and your points leader can get up there. You see Kurt Smith in the number 6. Is he still navigating? No, that car's in pit lane. He's not coming out. Ricky Harden has that car in pit lane. He's not coming out. So that's going to be, in fact, Ricky Harden calls it a night. So that's one more position for Wanamaker.
Yeah, that left front was destroyed. I don't think he had a choice in that 3 machine.
Well, I've learned from talking to the drivers that in these modifieds, it's not so much about tire wear. It is about tire temperature. A lot of yellow flags. They bring the temperature down. Maybe we can get some racing going on here. John Hine has nice cool tires. See what he can do from the 4th spot. Menda has worked his way up from 17th, but has found his level in 6th. Cannot seem to go any farther. Defending champ Todd Liston in 7th. The man who was coming, Scott Negus, caught up in that last incident. He's brought it back out on the lead lap still. Remember, no fast repairs, so who knows how that car is racing. 14 cars on the lead lap now, as we can continue to watch the Alan Wanamaker. I know it seems pointless, folks, but he is the point leader, and that's how championships are made. If he finishes in 16th position, Shaggy, he has this bad race and then probably another one. But if he can get to 15th, wow, that's how you make lemonade out of lemon.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened to Donnie Moore, and you see he's still trying to climb his way out.
All right, we're going to be going green for lap number 64. No surprise, the double nickel of Steven Spieth with another good start. Pearson has nowhere to go. John Hine has had just about enough of racing in 4th position now. He's got Pearson pinned to the inside, and boy, when I say pinned, he is not letting Pearson up, and that gives Hine the momentum to pick up 3rd. Great racing from John Hine, better racing from Pearson, who did not drift up into the 71.
I'll tell you what, am I watching a new 75 car here, Soup? He's got that middle rolling. He's hanging on with Spees. He might have something here.
He might have something. He may be racing out of aggression to try to get the lead. He may be racing out of fear because he got the Professor John Hine behind him.
Whatever it takes.
Hine is coming in the 71, lurking low, looking high, keeping an eye on that one. Menda moves himself up from 6th position now into 5th. The Lipper drops back into 6th after racing in the top 5 the whole time. A little battle back behind. That's the 15. There's Daryl Weinecker. We just talked to him a little while back. He keeps it coming in 8th right now. He's got the boss man Lowell Jewell on his outside.
Yeah, if he can get this spot done, he'll be up 13 spots. I mean, said how good it feels to be back. Loves the short track racing. He can get another caution, maybe fight himself up into the top 5. Long way to go.
Looking at the Lipper. He did not like being in 6th position. He's raced the whole race. Now he gets together. He saves it. He gets it together with Menda. They start to check up. 3 wide. The Lipper goes off to the inside wall. He still keeps it going straight. Somehow Bruce Pearson snakes his way through all the nonsense. The big losers back there was Chris Hazlett, who was racing a battle for 5th. He now races in a battle for 10th.
Yeah, Adam Shane, man, that highlighter yellow machine, he really shot the gap, too. He got 3 or 4 guys there, and that's a big move for the 79.
You see Shane back there next on his hit list, and I don't mean that sarcastically. It's just what he wants to get there is Lowell Jewell. Let's turn our attention up front. John Hine is all over the back of Wilson. Nipping at those tail feathers of the Canadian Goose is the Professor. Now he takes the car down low. This doesn't work. John Wilson knows it doesn't work. He's going to try to keep the Professor down there. He loses momentum. That's a possibility now for Pearson to get up in the mix. 3-car battle is so much more exciting than a 2-car battle. Pearson backs out of it. Now Hine gets some momentum back, going to try it again. Cooling off the rubber, sees what he can do on Wilson. Those 3 guys losing touch with Fire and Sulfur Steven Spees, who's racing away with this one.
Yeah, he's just got to drive 3 and 4 a little differently here. He's got to follow the 75, and he's got to arc out. He's got to diamond off and then try to send it into 1 and 2. With the way he's running the bottom, he's just not going to get a big enough run to carry it in on the inside right now.
You like that, watching that battle? Well, let me tell you who has the best view of it. Can we get in-car camera with car number 87, Todd Liston? He races back in 5th position, looking at the 3-car battle in front. Now you can see around that air cleaner there, as we go to the top of the car, there goes Hine underneath. That's Pearson trying to pick the line he wants. Is the yellow car going to go high? Is the yellow car going to go low? The number 22 looks and he waits. The outside line seems to work the best, and sure enough, Wilson was able to fend off John Hine. Now Hine loses momentum. That allows Pearson to dive down in there. He loses momentum, and that allows Liston to get in the mix. Oh, my goodness. Good racing here in the Bootleg Racing League.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be opportunistic. You got to see that guy in front of you making a mistake. You try to take advantage, and when you see this, 8-car line here, Soup, you're going to get a lot of that. This is going to be interesting. I mean, John doing a great job here holding on to P2. Reminds me kind of Alan Wanamaker, how he held on for his first win.
The Goose is holding him up. Now Hine's going to take another shot down low. Pearson again has to decide who he wants to follow. Doesn't work. Hine loses momentum. Pearson trying to find some way around. Liston also looking for a way around. Now the Goose drifts up. John Hine with a nice drive off a 2, but the outside line seems to be the way around here right now. Hine's going to take it in as deep as he can, looking to get a little bite off of corner number 4. He does. Now watch him diving in really deep here. Deeper than Beatnik Poetry is what John Hine does into corner number 1, but it doesn't work. The momentum's still to the top side. Now Pearson is under pressure because Liston has got to the outside. Let's see if Todd can roll the top. He's going to be able to pin Liston behind Hine. Now he gets momentum off the top. Hine has to be careful if he tries to go underneath Wilson again. Liston is going to roll around on the wide side. This is some great racing.
Yeah, I mean, John's got to find a way to entice that 75 into the bottom, and we haven't seen it for the last 70 laps, so good luck. It's going to be tough.
Oh. Now stuck up top, and I say stuck, maybe that's where he wants to be, is Lowell Jewell trying to get underneath him as Winemaker, but that's not going to work. Sorry, Weinecker trying to get underneath. Great battle. Pearson cuts down in front of Shane. Gets momentum now, looking to go underneath Pearson. Underneath Liston. Oh, what's going on? You know, the only thing that's going to save these guys is getting out on the dance floor. Right now, it's Wilson on the top and Hine on the bottom. Make your move, grip your groove. It's time to boogie. Wilson holds him off. Hine cannot get it done. Liston looking for any way around. There's a lot of battles going on through the whole field, but nothing more exciting for this battle for second right now. All this going on behind the double Nicholas Steven Spies, who's having it his own way. Now Hine with his best, the biggest advantage he's had so far. Let's see if Wilson can pin him down low. This is a yellow flag in the brewing right now. Liston right behind him, so close. If something were to happen, it's going to take out Liston, Pearson, Shane, Lowell, Jewell, and Weinecker as well.
Yeah, Hine knows that if he doesn't get this done, he's going to fall back to fourth. So he's got to do something. He's got to make it work, and he's got to get wide.
I think Liston gave Wilson a little bit of a bump draft down the main straight. Now Liston is right behind Wilson right now. They continue to race. They're running out of laps. Finally, Wilson gets him clear. Out spot for you, John. Clear. Now Wilson's in trouble again. Liston with a little bit of a bump on Wilson saying, let's go. But he's got Pearson underneath him. Shane has worked his way up underneath Liston as well. Lowell, Jewell, and Weinecker back there watching. 2 by 2 by 2. My goodness, it's the animals going on the arc right now.
Yeah, it looks like we're under caution, but I assure you we're not yet here at double file racing. This is a lot of fun to watch. And John, you got to think maybe just made those right side tires a little mad, and the high side's just not working like it is. Like it
Pearson finally makes the inside work. Now Shane's going to go around. Liston, who is maybe fast as anybody out there, is stuck behind Wilson. Can't get it done. The boss man in the number 2 now trying to go underneath Wilson. I believe you are right. I think that goose is cooked, and I'm talking about John Wilson. Oh, Thanksgiving is coming. Get out the stuffing. Get out the cranberries, because John Wilson is going to be served up here quick as that 75 continues to fall.
Yeah, and you touched on it there, Liston. You got to feel for him. He's got a hot rod. Every time he gets some opening, he gets the high side rolling. But now John Wilson finally able to get in line here. Lowell wasn't able to get it done, but the 75 still stays up top, and man, Liston's going to be frustrated.
About 10 laps to go. Watch out for the fluorescent number 79 of Adam Shane. He's doing what he's doing. Coming from 18th, has worked his way up to 4th. A yellow flag might be something he's looking for right now. He's on the back of Pearson. If he can get around Pearson, then he gets to go to work on the 71 of Hine. Unfortunately, nobody has anything for Steven Spies. Let's ride on the back of Spies and see if we can even see the guys who are chasing him. Oh, there's those little dots in the back.
And there I am hanging out on the deck lid.
Boy, I'll tell you, one car you can't see is the fluorescent. My goodness, I'm going to have to put on my sunglasses to commentate there for Adam Shane. That is one fluorescent yellow number 79.
Yeah, and he feels a lot like John Hine did there for a long time. You can see him trying to arc. That 79 is quick, but he just can't find a way around the 22.
Past the gravy, the 75, the goose has fallen. Now it's Liston underneath them. Look who's back in the mix. That's Scott Negus running out of laps, but the 29 is going to make the top side work. Hey, Wilson is not done yet. He's going to get to the inside, see if he can hold those guys off. Look at the momentum from Negus. Is there room? He makes room. He gets to the outside. Now he's got Wilson pinned underneath. We're working lap number 93. And there he goes, Scott Negus. Welcome back to the Bootleg Racing League number 29, Scott Negus. Oh, let's go to Shane now. Shane all over the back of Pearson. Pearson all over the back of John Hine. Hine has slowed down. I think the professor has dropped his chalk. He's having a hard time keeping going. Clearly, Pearson and Shane faster than Hine. Now Shane works to the inside. No room for Pearson to get down there. Pearson says, gosh darn it, as Shane gets underneath them.
Man, this is getting hairy, Soup. These guys are running as hard as you can without wrecking. This is fun to watch.
It is indeed, and there's okay. He saves it. Shane got so loose, the car was perpendicular with the racetrack, but he brings it back around. Oh my God. Give him some drifting points on that one. Lap number 96. 97, 98, 99, 100. Go ahead.
And look at who, Soup. I mean, with that little mistake, look at the boss man, Lowell. He's creeping in that picture, and he's reeling in that front pack.
I am the boss man. I run the league, and I can win this thing as well. Looking to see if he can get underneath Shane. Shane certainly heated up the tires on that last time when he had the car sideways. John Hine doing a good job of making that car as wide as a Julia Roberts smile. Out there racing like a kidney stone. Hard to pass right now is John Hine. Shane looks to the top. Go ahead.
We're seeing him defend different than I thought he would. You know, I thought he'd take kind of John Wilson's line, but he's still running the bottom and he's still heating up those tires. So John here, he's committed to that low line.
Steven Spies has not been racing full-time, so he's really not in the championship conversation. He's going to come around this time and see the white flag. We'll have 4 more corners to go. We're going to watch the battle for second for a minute. We'll jump up and watch Spies cross, and then we'll jump back and see who gets the second place position right now. We see on it there, Spies working his way down the backstretch. What a nice run for him. You got to get a little bit of screen time for it. There's a beautiful view of the double nickel, working his way through 3 and 4, and round number 7 of the Outlaw Modified Series is going to go to Spies. Let's drop back now and look at Hine fending off Pearson. Nothing going on there. It's going to be Hine, Pearson, and Adam Shane from 18th to 4th. Alan Wanamaker in his quest for 15th comes up 1 short as he'll finish in 16th position. Oh my goodness, this was a good one. Perhaps the star of the show was the racetrack itself, as there was racing down low and there was racing up top. But right now, the racing is over. We're going to take a short break. Don't go far. We'll come back and run down the entire 22-car field, talk to the top 3 drivers before we put a shoelace on the gate, before we bring you our second event of the evening. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network. Welcome back to Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway and VGN 7th round coverage of the 37th edition of the Bootleg Racing League's Outlaw SK Modified Invitational Series. The results are in. Let's give them to you now. It is Steven Spies who went wire to wire. Sometimes you have to earn your wire to wire. Sometimes they are an easy drive. My goodness, it was like a Sunday drive to the park for Steven Spies as he picks up the win. 9th to 2nd for John Hine. A well-earned second position for him. Bruce Pearson tries he might to find his way around John Hine, could not get it done. Adam Shane as well, 18th to 4th before he ran into Hine and Pearson and could not move up anymore. Maybe the best run of the night was Lowell Jewell quietly picking up a 5th position. Daryl Weinecker from the blackjack spot to number 6. Scott Negus was up and down and up. That man is fast, and he had enough rubber to bring the car home in 7th position ahead of defending champion Todd Liston. John Wilson, the Canadian Goose, we saw that he was failing. Well, he was able to hang on and salvage himself a top 10. Shaggy?
The Lipper brings home P11 in the 93. Right behind him, Tom Hilbert brings home 12th. Donnie Moore, the Baker Dozen spot. Now, Jeffrey Harden, 14th, in the next one, Aiden Young, that coveted 15th spot. He doesn't run every week, so I'm going to have to make sure and message that kid, make sure he shows up next week. He'll be starting on the pole if he does. Alan Wanamaker was your points leader coming in. Not too sure what the update is like, but, man, it's going to be a grim week for next week for Alan Wanamaker. Going to have to start towards the back of the field. Kurt Smith, 17th. He was up there in points, too. He struggled as well. Jason Mende, 18th. Ricky Harden, 19th. Steve Hilbert rounding out the top 20. Ruben Altice, 21st. And Joe Segala rounding out the field in 22nd.
There you go. With that, we're going to get an opportunity to talk to our race winner. Well, Steven, sometimes you have to work really, really hard to get those wins. Sometimes you don't. This one seemed like an easy one.
Well, luck of the draw. It led from some bad luck last week at Martinsville, so started the right place, which makes it a whole lot easier, especially in those cars.
Well, I got a nice stat for you. You know, this is the 10th time that the BRL has brought the SK Modifieds to Nashville. You've won twice now here.
Nice. I guess I like that track. Or maybe whatever tracks we run before it I'm just really bad at, so I start well. I don't know.
That's it. Get the order right, put you on the pole. You really didn't have a chance to test the inside or the outside line. I guess maybe the most strategic thing you had to do all night was the restarts, and they seemed to go well for you.
Yeah, on the very last restart, I made a bit of a mistake coming off the 2 on the first lap and tried to get the thing sideways and gave John Wilson a little bit of a chance to try to run me down, but was lucky, kept it straight, and other than that, it was just kind of fighting the mental battle to stay focused and hit marks, and it's a little easier to do that whenever you're chasing somebody. When you're just looking at open track, my mind starts wandering sometimes, and I lose a little focus, and trouble can happen. But did all right tonight.
I tried to stay up on the penalty reports and everything. Are you eligible? Are we going to see you in the late models coming up?
As far as I know, I'm eligible.
Okay, all right.
I think maybe I'll be starting at the back, though.
Okay. Well, that's only fair. You started at the front today. Let's try one from the back, see how you do. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Sue.
Steven Spies picks up the win, his second career win. In fact, no active driver has more wins at this place than the old Fire and Sulphur himself. All right. Who you have, Shaggy?
Hey, John, Shaggy up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
I do. How are you guys tonight?
Well, man, not as good as you, man. Gambler Motorsports 1-2. Steven, luck of the draw, started up there, finished up there. But, John, you had to work your way through the field, man. Talk to us about that battle with John Wilson. It seemed like you worked on him for over half the race.
Yeah, I mean, we had a restart. We started outside row 2 there next to Bruce, and that going through that corner, I just lifted just barely to kind of set the car and went right back to it, held her, hoping the thing would stick on that outside without running into the outside wall coming out of 2. That worked out, and then we had to set sail there on John, and John was, he just wasn't making mistakes, which can be expected behind him. So yeah, I used what I had left of that car up, trying to get around him, and finally got it. Then I used what little I had left of the car to probably hang on there to second. had to throw a pretty big block there on Bruce, and he did what he was supposed to do, and he hit me going into 3, and thank God I was able to kind of hang on to it there, and I thank him for not hitting me and driving through me. That's textbook on what you're supposed to do. When a guy throws a block, you leave a guy behind you 2 choices. You can either back off or you try to make something happen, which means you're probably putting yourself in a bad spot or the driver in front of you at a bad spot. And like I said, that's how you do it. He got into me a little bit, and luckily I hung on and didn't walk it up the track there and was able to hold on to second. But I got to tip my hat off both to Bruce and to John there. What a battle there for that podium, huh?
No, man, you couldn't have sent it any better than I could there. I mean, that was 100%. Bruce, he did what he had to do going into 3. You threw the block, and he just gives you that love tap, and then he slides up in the middle hoping you make your mistake. But, John, you're able to catch it, coast through 3 and 4, and you're bringing home for a Gambler 1-2, man. So congratulations. Good to see you up towards the top again. Who you want to thank?
Well, I want to take a quick second. A lot of people may not know this, but about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours ago now, it was announced Bobby Allison passed away. And Bobby, part of the Alabama gang, showing my age, but, I grew up watching him, Daryl, Dale Earnhardt, those guys. And one of my fondest memories of racing was he and his son, Davey, running for that Daytona 500 championship. And, of course, his horrific wreck there at Talladega, while we got restrictor plates now, but he passed. And just on the very off chance any friends or family of his are watching, my hearts go out to them tonight.
John, it's Soup. This is coincidence. Yeah. I did not know this, but in the broadcast today, I mentioned his brother Donnie Allison. So
really,
it's funny how that works out. Yeah, what a weird coincidence. I'm sorry to hear about his brother. You know what? He made an amazing recovery, and he got a lot of years there that he probably shouldn't have had. So,
yep,
that was well done. Hey, congratulations on second place, man.
Yep, thank you, guys.
All right, Soup hogging the interview there again. Take a drink, everybody. Let's dial up the man who came home and threw it. It is Bruce Pearson. Double Deuce Bruce. Bruce, we talk about this a lot with you, points racing. I know you don't like to do it too much during the race, but I've looked at the new standings. Guess who is up 5 spots and in second position?
I guess that's me. That's pretty cool.
That would be you. 2 back of Todd Liston, which is funny. I think of you and Liston pretty much coming in together and with similar careers. What a battle. It had to be fun. I know you got third. You would have liked to probably got more, but, man, it had to be fun.
That, Soup, I'm not going to lie, that was one of the most fun races that I've ever had in the BRL. It was a blast tonight. You're 100% right there.
And it went on not just you, but it was right behind you as well. It went on to the guys back there with Shane and Jewel and Weinecker as well. For a while, it was 2x2x2 for second position. The top side, I think the track might have been the show. The top side seemed almost as equal, if not better, than the bottom.
Yeah, I practiced a lot, Soup, on the outside, and towards the tail end of the street stocks, the outside came in really well. And if you set up a good arc through the corner on top, you could get a really good launch off. And everyone around me was doing it, so that's why John was able to stay in front of me for so long. He was kind of pinching me down. He really can't let the car, have its flow off the corner up toward the wall because he's right there. And a lot of times I had to just back off and let him go.
Yeah, even though we're talking about you and Hein and Shane that were involved in it, but Wilson also was up there, although he finished in 10th. Boy, he made it tough for a long time.
Yeah, he did, and the thing, so all the guys in this league are so clean. They're so fast, but they're so clean. So I knew that even though he was up there and I could get up there pretty close to him, that he was going to race me clean and not come down and cause a big mishap there.
Steven Spies gets the win, but you guys put on the show. Congratulations for the third place finish and second in points now in the championship hub. Good luck down the road.
Thank you, Soup. Just want to thank all of our veterans. That's my special paint scheme tonight is for all those men and women who serve our country. We are seriously indebted to those people.
Indeed. Could not have said it better. Well done. Bruce Pearson, your third place finisher tonight, the second in the points, only 2 back of Todd Liston, who will be your leader. All right, with that said, we're going to take a short break, but don't go far. I'll give you enough time to go to the kitchen, make yourself a nice little snack, because we're going to come back and show you what's up next. We're going to put it on screen right now. We're going to be going and doing the late models here. That's going to start, you can see at the time there, 9:10 Eastern time. There's also a couple series that are going to be coming up later. You don't want to miss those. You're going to see there. Now, I forget what RLR stands for. Help me out on that again. Red Light Racing is what that stands for. There's going to be SK Modifieds. Hey, this is what you saw here tonight. They're going to be on Thursday nights. And then also we have Yesteryear Racing coming up at the in a little while, so you don't want to miss that 1966 Modified Series. So that'll be fun starting in February. And also, there's also going to be doing a Race of Championships as well. So we have lots of stuff for you guys to watch coming up in 2025 here on the Virtual Grip Network. Right now, we have nothing for you to watch. We're going to take a short break, but don't go far. We'll be back for the late models in just a little while. You're watching the Virtual Grip Network.